We solved the mystery. What began as a simple shared headstone in North Watertown Cemetery turned into a sweeping story of immigration, railroad, brotherhood, and a family whose roots stretch across St. Lawrence County and far beyond. William Johnson was born in April 1858 in Richville, New York, the son of two immigrants who had come to America in search of opportunity. His father, Thomas, arrived from England in 1849, and his mother, Margaret Hanley, came from Ireland. Together, they raised a large family in the North Country, and William spent his early years as a farm laborer, working the long days that defined the rural life of 1800s. Ada Bowker's life began just a few miles away, also in Richville, in March of 1863. By her teenage years, she was already working as a servant in another household, doing the quiet tasks that kept the home running. At some point in the early 1880s, William and Ada's paths crossed, and the two married about 1881. They left Richville behind and stepped into the next chapter of their lives together. For William, that next chapter was the railroad, and this is where his story really begins to take shape. He worked for lines in Connecticut before eventually settling in Watertown, where he spent more than 30 years with the New York Central. William wasn't just a laborer. He became a freight and passenger conductor, running the routes between Watertown and Syracuse, and Watertown and Ogdensburg. Later in life, he served as the switch tender for the Mill Street crossing, meaning that railroaders across the region knew him by name. There's a symbol on his headstone that many of you picked up. It's a Masonic symbol, and that symbol represents brotherhood, mutual support, and a shared commitment to community. It's a quiet detail, but it gives us a glimpse into another layer of William's life. It tells us he wasn't only a railroad man, but also a Freemason. The pair had one child, Carl Wilmer Johnson, born in 1887. Carl grew up to be tall, strong, light brown hair, blue eyes, and like his father, he worked with his hands. A machinist, steam fitter, plumbing contractor. But Ada never lived to see most of Carl's adult life. She passed away in March of 1910 at just 47 years old. Heart trouble after extraction of teeth was listed in her obituary as her cause of death. William lived 11 more years after her passing. On the morning of August 12, 1921, after feeling unwell the night before, he collapsed at his home on West Main Street. Their son Carl died young as well, in 1925 at just 37 years old, and he's buried close to his parents. His daughter, Ada, who was named after her grandmother, eventually moved across the country to live out the rest of her life in Seattle, Washington. When she passed away, she was the last of her line as she had no children, so there's no family left to take care of this Johnson plot. Thank you to everyone who helped uncover their story this week. Your clues, comments, and curiosity helped bring William and Ada back into the light. Until the next stone. Thanks for watching.